YouTube channel Nos Confunden. Much has been discussed about the figure of the so-called men in black, who have appeared as shadows in both modern and ancient narratives, blurring the boundaries between myth, conspiracy, and reality. The closest representation in fiction can be found in movies like The Adjustment Bureau, where these agents manipulate timelines and determine the course of human events according to a master plan. However, this idea of temporal guardians or manipulators of fate is not exclusive to modernity. It is deeply rooted in ancient texts, which recount stories of beings tasked with influencing, restricting, or guiding humanity's free will. The interference of the men in black in human affairs raises a profound question. Do we truly have free will, or are our decisions influenced by unseen forces? The denial of this freedom has been a central theme in ancient writings and contemporary theories. Join me as we delve deeper into this intriguing topic. Nos Confunden. The presence of these mysterious agents throughout history suggests a direct link with the custodians and the Anunnaki. In our theory of the invisible projector dome, the custodians appear as entities responsible for manipulating human knowledge, and the men in black seem to act as their terrestrial enforcers. When analyzed, some ancient texts suggest that these figures might be represented under different names and roles. Nos Confunden. The Book of Enoch and the Watchers. In the Book of Enoch, the Watchers are portrayed as angels who observe and intervene in human affairs. While some fall into disgrace, others seem to continue their role as supervisors of human actions. The Dead Sea Scrolls. These texts mention entities tasked with ensuring the continuity of the divine plan, maintaining a balance that does not always favor humanity. The Popol Vuh. Maya mythology describes gods creating and destroying failed humanities. Among these stories are beings who monitor obedience and destroy those who challenge divine order. This role echoes the actions attributed to the men in black in contemporary culture, warning, silencing, and suppressing disobedience to the plan. Nos Confunden. The Enuma Elish and Sumerian tablets. These narratives depict gods shaping human destiny and occasionally sending emissaries to correct deviations. Free will, the fundamental right that defines human autonomy, seems to be in constant tension with accounts of these entities. If the men in black exist as manipulators of timelines, their mission would appear to restrict this freedom, ensuring that events follow a predetermined course. In texts such as the I Ching and the Tao Te Ching, the fluidity of destiny is explored, showing how human decisions intertwine with a greater order. However, these philosophies also suggest the presence of forces that, while invisible, guide this flow. Could the men in black act as shepherds of this supposed order, disguising their intervention as inevitability? On the other hand, in Gnostic texts like the Nag Hammadi and the Corpus Hermeticum, the Archons are denounced as entities manipulating human perception to keep us trapped in an illusory reality. Nos Confunden. This description closely aligns with the attributes given to the men in black, agents of a higher agenda whose ultimate goal is to keep humanity ignorant of its true spiritual potential. Throughout history, there are numerous accounts of encounters with these entities, often appearing at critical moments. The silencing of investigators. From Kenneth Arnold's 1947 case to John Keel's reports in the 1970s, the men in black have been described as figures visiting those who come too close to uncovering hidden truths. Their appearance is often described as inhuman, expressionless faces, rigid movements, and an anomalous knowledge of the events they aim to obscure.
Nos confunden.
Control of witnesses in antiquity. In the pyramid texts and the Book of the Dead, guardians of gates and pathways are mentioned, tasked with ensuring that souls do not access forbidden knowledge prematurely. These guardians share the purpose attributed to the men in black, limiting human access to transcendence. The Tunguska event, 1908. Some witnesses after the incident described the presence of men dressed in black investigating the area, collecting information and silencing locals. The Manhattan Project. Several scientists involved in developing the atomic bomb recounted unexplained experiences, including visits from mysterious figures who seemed to warn of risks or even manipulate certain timelines to alter outcomes.
Nos confunden.
Are the men in black protectors of universal balance or agents of a manipulative agenda? This question echoes through ancient and modern texts, creating a fracture in our perception of reality. Accounts and testimonies suggest that their central mission is to manipulate and limit the expansion of human free will, a concept deeply tied to the central ideas of colonizers like the custodians and the Anunnaki.
Nos confunden.
This control, disguised as order and protection, has been implemented through agents who supervise, manipulate, and suppress any attempt by humanity to achieve higher understanding or challenge the limits imposed by the invisible projector dome. Well, the custodians are described as entities operating from the shadows, designing systems of control to ensure humanity's total submission. The men in black could be their direct enforcers, tasked with making adjustments to the collective narrative or eliminating threats that jeopardize the status quo.
Nos confunden.
These enigmatic figures appear to have a dual purpose: preventing humans from questioning the simulated reality under the invisible projector dome and keeping us from reaching the lands beyond the ice walls. The Codex Gigas describes demons and angels working secretly to influence human destinies. In this context, the men in black could be seen as a modern representation of these dual agents, oscillating between light and darkness. As previously mentioned, according to the Sumerian tablets, the Anunnaki descended to govern humans, establishing hierarchies and systems that restrict our autonomy. The men in black, with their alleged capacity to silence, manipulate, and suppress, seem to operate under this same directive. Their presence, both historical and contemporary, reinforces the idea that humanity's understanding and free will are under constant surveillance and limitation. Throughout history, the men in black have been reported in events that challenge the official narrative, always acting as intermediaries between the established power and those seeking to uncover the truth.
Nos confunden.
The Peasants' Revolt of 1381. In this uprising in England, leaders like Wat Tyler and the radical preacher John Ball emerged suddenly and exerted significant influence. As the peasants rose against oppression and exploitation, these leaders embodied ideals of justice and freedom, almost as if they had been appointed to channel the growing discontent. Some later accounts speculate that figures resembling the men in black might have been involved, either fostering the rebellion as a social experiment or monitoring its outcome to maintain balance and control. Wat Tyler's abrupt appearance and mysterious death, coupled with John Ball's revolutionary messages, suggest these events may not have been entirely spontaneous. Could these leaders have been manipulated or influenced by unseen forces, testing the limits of social resistance? During the rise of secret societies like the Templars and Rosicrucians, several accounts mention the intervention of mysterious figures who warned or eliminated those approaching dangerous truths. Could these be the earliest records of the Men in Black, acting as guardians of restricted knowledge?
Nos confunden.
In the Corpus Hermeticum, there is a warning about the bearers of forgetfulness, beings that divert truth seekers from their path, a concept that aligns closely with the actions attributed to these agents. Modern appearances. In testimonies from Antarctic explorers and accounts near the ice walls, dark figures are said to have appeared before inexplicable phenomena, such as lights in the sky or sightings of unknown structures. These sightings hint at the possibility of these agents acting as protectors of hidden knowledge or enforcers of secrecy regarding the dome and its mysteries. Are these agents instruments of a hidden agenda? The answer may lie in our ability to overcome the fear they instill and reclaim our role as architects of our destiny. By unlocking our infinite spiritual potential and challenging imposed limitations, we may unveil the truth behind their presence and their purpose.
YouTube channel Nos Confunden.